What is up, party people? Welcome back to RDYUP. Here for, well, I'm here for another season, but we're here for another match. Obviously, a couple games in now in some groups. This is, of course, Group 2, I think. Group 1, actually, of this season. We've got WaspsGaming taking on Fixate Gaming. And, well, it could end up quite exciting. The potential of which is sort of based on how Fixate perform, honestly, because Fixate are a really new team that I really haven't played together in any sort of competition, I believe. Only competed in some qualifiers, if I'm not mistaken. And so this game could really be based on that. I feel like this entire group is mostly Fury and Academy and WaspsGaming, the very likely two teams to get out, and then some upset potential, perhaps, even when a team like Amplify have already lost to Wasps in their first game. This is Wasp's second, Fixate's first, mind you, and of course, as I mentioned, they're best of 3. Means that we're in for the long haul on this one. But doesn't seem like Slim is. Just gonna be quickly executed here in this first round. Obi as well, taking a bit of damage there too, and actually a couple kills going in Fixate's direction. It's luckily for Wasps that they have Dreamy right now to come in and try and rescue them. He grabs 3 actually, with only Kroki's left, but he picked up that frag, but it was just too much to handle in that situation. Wasps pick up the round, and sort of deservedly so in a way. I'm just gonna quickly... Sorry for the little black screen. Should all work out. There you go. Right. Back in it. I mean, Fixate did get a bomb plant, did they? So, I don't think they're going to be too unhappy. I'm not buying up, interestingly enough. Sort of meta. Going against the meta a little bit. Just saving up for that next round. Oh, and the push in from Freddy is actually punished early. Earl is going to be the one to have to sort of counter punish, and he does get flashed just as he peeks, but still, with that full health, Fetis, he's going to be the next to grab a frag, and this should be around that Wasp's clean up easily, but they start dropping another player. Maybe if they don't save one of those M4s into the next round, then it would have become a problem, but frankly, I don't think it really is, because all they really lost was a 1 MP9, so, you know, manageable at worst. And first buy round to be ensued. I mean, Fixate, obviously they're not going to show too much in the first 2 rounds when you lose the first round and then you eco second, but this is sort of where they're going to have to prove themselves a little, I imagine. We see another push in from Freddy. Obviously, got punished last round, but trying his luck again, and this time it seems to be working out quite a bit better. He at least gets a frag. Maybe not quite what he was hoping for, though. Earl was here to sort of trade him out if he died, but he is just stuck here. A great flash, though, comes in, but it doesn't matter. Earl just gets punished for his positioning, and Wasps, as a result, are forced back a little. Way back towards that A site. I think Fixate, though, are actually kind of running towards B here in a way, despite the smoke that's come in, smartly so. There's a minute for them to operate here, Fixate, so shouldn't be a massive struggle to actually get something done here. Smoke's thrown in as well. This should alarm Fetis to some extent. I think MV's actually rotating over. Fetis just trying to delay a little, maybe get a frag here, but not even that. And that could be crucial. Not getting a single frag should mean that Wasps can't come back in this despite the two of Fixate's Gaming's player being, I mean, you could tickle him and they die, and then Slim as well, and quite low health, who's now actually gone down. Envy and Dreamy, they're both going for this, surprisingly so. We've got plenty to face still, though. Oh, but great nade sees out Torchy, and Envy tried his best, but eventually Fixate went. Still unsure about some of the decision making, to be honest, on the side of Wasps, because, I mean, frankly, the decision from Freddy was probably the worst one out of the bunch, in that he, I don't know, he just peaked very recklessly, I'd say, with that MP9 in hand. Got nothing for it as well. Left them in a super sticky situation. And then the decision to even try and come back after that. Not so sure about that one either, to be honest. After a bit of early aggression as usual on that A site, we actually do see Wasps pushing back a little now, by the looks of things, but not so much on B. They have pushed in to get that short control, and I mean they have, but Fixate don't really seem to fixated on it, to be honest. Instead, sort of going up towards the A site instead. Problem for Wasps is that they only have 2 players here, and those 2 players are the only ones with pistols in this round, so people like Fred are going to have to succeed in sort of gimmicky positions like this. Oh, but he's getting wall banged. They're definitely going to be checking this. 100%. They see him now, they hear him. He should be dead at this point, he just isn't. Takes a while, but finally goes down. Fixate, though, as a result, I'm not even sure if they're going to commit to this. They didn't look like they were on the front foot there for a bit. It's actually led Wasps to rotate in as Fixate start to push in, and it's led Fediz to a frag. Maybe it won't matter, though. Or maybe it will. Him trading out a couple more as the plant starts to go down. Dreamy still on the site, though, punishing Obi for not quite being aware enough. Crocus, he's so low right now as well. And he just walks with his back turned. It's only Linne now, with a smoke drop on that bomb. Obviously no kit for Wasps. They can fake this as Dreamy takes the frag. Fixate, they will falter. That was definitely not the clean execute they were hoping for. They just sort of, again, they sort of waited for Wasps to be able to rotate in a couple players before they actually pushed in after that initial frag on Freddy. And then they just had some sort of individual mistakes in that manner, where maybe they weren't looking at the right angle at the right time, or had their back turned, which did happen a couple times as well. And now Fixate, as a result, will have to be on this little eco, you could call it. Barely any armor. Just a couple pistols, truthfully. Hanging out sort of in the short area, I suppose. I would say that the defense here is actually quite solid. 4 players now, even with Freddy rotating in. If Fixate try and sort of brute force this, there's not sort of a lot of chance of them actually getting through. I've baited out a bit of utility with just that smoke in heaven, and they'll actually start to rotate over now. Obviously only 4 players alive for them, but still. I'm going to try and overwhelm this A site. Freddy and Earl up here. Freddy doing the initial heavy lifting with 2 frags. It should be quite a clean up from now on, and it does seem like it's heading that way with only Slim left too. I mean, he's got a bomb, but he's not got too much working for him in other terms. I feel like I didn't even know exactly where they were positioned, and neither did Slim, apparently. He's got a smoke, but really needed to get that frag on the site and didn't really have time for it. Fixate now. Back onto the buy. Obviously, there's no panic station to go to yet, maybe. But I feel like if they lose this round, and then lose the gun round after that, that's when problems arise. But actually, looking at Wasp's economy as well, as long as Fixate actually get a couple frags here, they could be damaging it quite heavily, and it's going to be Crocus to start that off. He doesn't follow up on the initial frag, but at least it's a trade, and I don't think they're going to see that as a negative, per se. Envy and Fetis are just waiting around. They have actually started to push in. Fetis gets a frag with a Molotov as MV got the one running in. Oh, yeah, a couple frags back though, both from Torchy. Don't quite know, however, where the two last players are. Dreamy, he's been spotted, but Freddy pops out of sandbags to find one. He spots out where Linny is. He's only got 50 health, Linny, but I mean, Fred has got even less than that, so make of that what you will. Freddy is rotated over towards Monster, but I imagine that Linny wants to walk up towards A instead. What he could have done is actually sort of go for a sneaky peek for Heaven, but this seems to be the right choice considering Freddy was just staying quite passive in that situation. Now has to rotate all the way. The good thing for Linny as well is that he's quite sure that he's going to walk up here. So he's got time to position himself in a position where, I mean, Fred will just not know of this. He will not be checking bank, surely, in this amount of diligence. I think he's actually walked past it. But Linny walking up through CT is not something Fred was ready for. Welcome, Alex. Picks are... I think Fixate picked Overpass this first map. Wasps picked Nuke, and Inferno is the decider. Since you were curious, hope that answers it. Anyway, Fixate winning that gun round is quite good for them. I feel like, I mean, if they win this one, a forced buy from Wasps, a pretty risky forced buy at that, then we could be seeing a bit of a Fixate streak, honestly. I have no idea of this Wasps, this setup. They finally get, I think Earl has heard some steps from Long, but if they didn't step their Fixate, they would have had the site for free. They've almost had it already because Earl's dead and Dreamy's peeked out into an angle where you can see 4 men looking at him with devious eyes, and that will be a one plant per Fixate for free. Essentially for free. Everyone just running into bank. This is certainly something coming out from Fixate. I mean, it will probably work considering it's a 5-on-2 at this point. I'm not even sure if it was the perfect sort of execute or the perfect sort of post plant. But it just worked because Wasps were so, well, they were first sort of a position where they weren't ready for that at all. And then they didn't adapt at all. Because they came in really late. Earl heard the steps. I think he heard them. And they were already sort of almost peeking out. And despite Slim dying to that bomb, it should actually be great success for Fixate that. And unlike Wasps, they're going to be in pretty good hands economically. Something that could carry them to the lead. Wasps are going to be able to buy in the next round, I imagine, but still. Only a saved M4 and a saved MP9. We're going to have to fight an uphill battle here, and I think they stacked that B site. Something they now evidently regret, you could say. I do think Fixate are still have a bit to go, but they're definitely setting up for a bit of a beast, or an A site hit rather. Even making some noise now. Throwing in the Molotovs and such, and I mean, again, as soon as they take out that M4, it should be happy days. Obi to take 2 of the frags. It's only a slight challenge from the saved weapons. 1 each, Fred it. Surprisingly enough, not trying to save this AK instead. Really willing to fight a little there, but taking the responsible choice of just running back more. Something that I don't think Fixate are going to have any objections to. It is just going to be them winning it. And thus tying up the scoreline. As you can see on scoreboard, quite even so far amongst players. The sort of kill distribution amongst these teams. A couple standouts, of course, at times, but I don't think anyone's sort of dominated the game so far with the eye test, which is sort of backed up in the numbers. Big thing for Wasps here in this gun round is that Earl had an AWP, but sadly for them it won't matter at all. Fixate just running in towards that base site instead. Fetis, despite being blinded, does take 1 down, which, you know, should be quite happy with, but they do need some frags here, and Dreamy's there to get them. 2k for him, which means that Earl could safely walk back in and tag up Crocus, who's now in a one-on-one with suddenly. So much more health on him. And so he had the time to kill him off despite them being in that duel. Very quick round. Fixate do love to mix up the tempo quite frequently, in fact, because it does catch off Wasps quite a bit as well. They haven't adapted to it the best at all times. Big problem for them as well, I see, is that I honestly think players on their team have not been quite so good at holding down the sites, in a way. Getting those multi-kills that you really need. At best, they get sort of 1 kill. The only player that's been an exception has been Dreamy, who's maybe done it on the pistol round and 1 or 2 more rounds. Envy, though, is going to be flashed in here. Get that position cleared. That should actually give Wasps something to operate with. We pushed in both A players into long and boosted up Fetis as well, strangely enough. Because it hasn't worked out. Meanwhile, long. Big success for Wasps. That just leads Fixate straight back to that base site, and MV, he didn't even have time to blink before he went out that angle and died. So it's just going to be quite an easy road for them. Oh. Yeah, another save, of course. Fixate, I mean, he should be pretty happy so far, I think. They've obviously not taken the lead at any point, but besides that, what more could you want from this game so far? Because again, they haven't been flawless in their play, but to still get 5 rounds out of the first 10 while not playing flawless, as mentioned, could be big. I feel like the main issue for Fixate is that they're going into this group with sort of the biggest game of the group as their first game. Because I think, honestly, from the way they're playing, they should be able to take down Amplify and Omen, who have shown that, you know, again, since 2 teams are making it out of this group, I think it's yeah, again, all about challenging challenging Wasps and Fury Academy. And Fury Academy and Wasps, for me, are the two sort of favourites for it. So Fixate, if they actually sort of want to get out of this group, they're going to have to beat Wasps in a way. Can't really rely on Omen doing so. As a team like Omen are definitely in that lower tier of the group. So big game for them for sure. But I mean, they're certainly turning up to some extent so far. And in this little strange half bite, they've managed to push Earl off long as they walk up it for 4 players. But Earl, he gets that collateral done as well. Missing the follow-up, sure. Still, Dreamy gets a trade there, so man advantage actually in favour of Wasp right now. Despite 2 of those players just having USPs. Dreamy goes down as well. That's a big blow. That is the blow perhaps for Wasps. As Fixate now are just going to be able to run off towards that base. I think Fett is just going to hunt for a weapon right now while MB sees them run in. That bomb plant should be going down. Despite the last couple seconds now. That's picking up a kit as well. That is quite good for a retake that, you know, while possible, isn't extremely likely. Short house now been blocked up by Molotov. He's picked up as well. Don't know about Crocus, who's now dead actually, and they spotted out Obi. He's tagged up, and look at that! They've killed him off. It's a massive round for Wasps to get. They did not expect that, I don't think. With, what was it? 2 free USPs? And a couple saved weapons? Massive. Fixate obviously still have some money. But that is not the round you're hoping to lose. The one time they got that big window into sort of taking the lead as well. No. To answer your question, chat, this is Fixate's pick, I believe. Wasps picked Nuke for that second map, with Inferno being the decider. So, hope that answers your question. I mean, again, Fixate, they can't get the lead, can they? And that's, for me, quite a big problem if you want to win a game. Not ever have the lead. But again, they're keeping up with it, so nothing to worry about too much just yet. 3-on-3 erupts into quite a chaotic situation. Slim does find that frag on Earl after a while, as Obi takes a bit of damage while running away. So free take on for Wasps as they're trying this, which I imagine they are. Obi through the wall has tagged down Dreamy, wonderfully so. Both Wasp players, as a result, are so low, and they're just going to be backing off as a result. Looks like they really haven't been too keen on hunting the players that have tried to save. I think occasionally, like here, it's been justified. Oh. Right now, Fixate, that economy needs to be rebuilt a little bit, so again, kind of need it. Yeah, again, Wasps, 2 saved weapons. They go into a round where they should really have no say, but then again, we also have seen them have some say in rounds that, again, maybe they shouldn't have. I think Fixate are just going to go for a bit of a B hit right now. Wasps ready for this are actually, I think, 3 players in on short. Fetus is going to take the first one as MB moved back towards Toxic Barrels. The flash in means that they can run back out, but they're only getting a few frags. And as a result, Fixate will take the lead for the first time. feel like Fixate fans should sort of rejoice in that fact, shouldn't they? Another stack coming up for Wasps, but this time, of course, it is just an eco. And pretty easily cleaned up as a result. I mean, the bomb is here, and Freddy, that's just hit a wonderful little 1D, but again, maybe won't matter. I feel like Fixate, though, yet again, they're not having the foresight that maybe they really should have. They know that a teammate got killed here. Just sort of like 15-20 seconds ago, yet they're not clearing it up. They're not throwing away the AK. Same with the player here by Fountain or mid. And as a result, Bettas, he's got this AK. Surely they'll check this if they try and plant it for the toilet. I don't think they will now. Bettas, what is happening? Why are you? They don't have a great economy. I'm unsure if I'm really for this little excursion right now. It's not like he'll damage Fixate's economy to a point of where they can't buy for this last round either, so really feels a bit of a weird choice. I mean, they would have had five rifle or 4 rifles and an op. Now they have to have an MP9, so yeah, again, can't really wrap my head around that little decision. Let's move into this last round of the first half. Gone by in a breeze. Fixate. Drop a couple smokes all over. Try and get this map control. Don't really know about Freda though, who's pushed in ahead of balloons. Alright, I'm gonna check this at all. Torchy goes down. Took too long to find the next player, and so was able to be ratted out. Earl does get that next frag though, and Wasps, as a result, keep their man advantage. And Fixate. Gonna have to cope with that. Wasps do also have full control of short at this point, but that's something they're gonna concede just as Fixate start to make their advancements. They're not making them too quickly, are they? Sort of sitting back as long as they can in a way. But now they're going to walk through just as that smoke gets dropped from Wasps. And a Molotov as well will follow. And it's just a cleanup. What a good hold. That is an MV. Definitely deserves some credit for that. And that leaves us in a very even half then. Wasp 7, Fixate 8. A lot of things to be said about the half. One thing is definitely that Fixate, they came back and they came back strong. The last, I think, 10 rounds, they got 7. The first 5 hosting 4 Wasps rounds, so there's that. Overpass as well. With these teams, I'm unsure a little as to how CT sided it will be. I still think 7 rounds on that CT side shouldn't be something they're too happy with, honestly. Wasps, that is, as they move towards this T side. In my experience, though, Wasps have been a little better on their T sides, especially on a map like Overpass than on the CT sides, so make of that what you will. maybe it doesn't necessarily mean that they'll sort of obviously they don't have to cut back too much, do they? For one round, which could actually get equalized if they just win this pistol round. But they'll win because I think everyone here, except maybe if you're, yeah, I don't think Fixate have actually been streamed at all in anything. So I'm not sure how you know how Fixate are on their CT side of Overpass, but I guess if you've screened them or something. Because of that sort of unpredictability, it's hard to really say. Fixate have approached their T side a little strangely at times, but obviously, while saying that, they did also get 8 rounds, so. It was split tactic here, Wasps. They do like to get quite inventive on their pistol rounds, don't they? Nades that coming through on that B site, but the position they did nade has only now been occupied. We do have 3 players here, Fixate. As Wasps just start to run in, it's Envy to get that first and second frag though. Continuing his reign too as we do try and hunt down Crocus. That's with Slim coming in who quickly meets the barrel of a gun, stares down it. And look at that, what a round from WaspsGaming. Obi's the only one to be alive and to get a frag for the side of Fixate. But he's got just 4 more to go. It's not gonna happen. And it's the score. Retreat. Does almost walk into that fire torch-esque thing. Let's go for a bit of a nice flash actually to get the short area fully wrapped for Fixate. But after some presence was shown, I've rotated a ton of players towards that A site instead. I think Wasps are still undecided as to where they want to go, which for me it's a pretty good tactic to just sort of sit back, wait for things to happen to you rather than the opposite in these types of rounds. As they start to send in the Mach 10s first, Galil's second, but Croc is in the middle of all of that, does take out one of the Galils, or the AKs even. Quickly eliminated though, but Torchy brings it back. I think he's picked up that AK as well with armor. And suddenly things aren't quite as safe for Wasps. Or are they going to try and run their way to the base site perhaps? I think they do have a player here though. Slim. Also joined by Obi. As they run in. Oh, they're not really meeting this, but they are now. 2 frags gone their way. In trade for all nothing. They also get a bomb plant on top of the whole thing, but Torchy coming in from short now will take out Envy. They do need this frag on Linne. They just don't get it though. What was Fetis aiming at, by the way? Sorry. Fetis here has a player from CT and a player from short, and he shoots. Fires several bullets. Here. What did he think there was more than 2 players left? Why did he shoot at heaven? Could anyone explain that, please? Linane out. On the rest of the Fixate. I'm gonna try and sort of maintain this lead. Of course, but with a couple rifles, even in this type of round, going up against. So it should be quite difficult for them, and it is. MV and Earl take a frag each, and it is man advantage for Wasps as a result. But Fixate set themselves up with one player from Heaven, one from CT, and one from Short in this retake. As Torchy starts to rain hell on Fetizu, now can justify shooting up towards Heaven for once. But quickly just goes down. It's only MV left as Crocus picks up 2. Turned from a 1v3 into a 1-on-1. He knows roughly where he is, and he's actually gonna get that 2. Lovely 1v3 from Crocus. I think you should be getting the defuse down as well. It's gonna get tight. He does get it on that green light. I feel like the fact that Wasp maybe should have known that they didn't have kits Fixate, and we should have played time just like a second more. And also I'll put X-ray on for map 2. Don't know why it's off, but I can't really put it on right now. Just trying to sort of mask the fact that they want to go B by throwing a couple flashes A, and I'm not sure if it's worked out or not, but regardless, Fixate have control of the short area. Fetus gets a frag as well, but a lovely one-way smoke from Crocus means that he does get 2 frags before he goes down, which is even the playing field. 100%. This is a big round if Fixate were to get it because of Wasps forcing. If they lose this, then they're in dire straits regarding their economy. And 3 rounds behind as well. So they do start to run up long. Obi, he was up there for a little bit, but actually aiming back now. Oh, but he peeks back in just in time. Obi, 1 Kenobi. 3 kills, lovely. He had those Jedi mind tricks where he just sort of, I guess that's more Spider-Man, some spidey senses. I sense grave danger. That an Obi line? Who knows? Fixate regardless. I mean, again, massive round. Big frags from Obi to actually put them in such a comfortable spot now. All they need to do is just win out against a couple pistols here, and they're firmly in that driving seat. Torchy makes that out alive from Connector despite buying up that op. Even gets a fadeaway frag with the USP as he runs back towards the site. That's where Obi will stake his claim as well. I think there's another player there. In maybe? No, he's in Heaven. Minimap fooling me, of course. Oh my god, Obi. I thought you had the Jedi mind tricks, man. Here he gets just punished for having his back turned. MB gets a frag on Crocus as well. This would be a massive round for Fixate to lose, but just as I bring that possibility up, they get 2 frags, and with so much time to go on that bomb, it really should just be easy from here on out. Earl still trying to kill off the diffuser, but just not gonna happen. Interesting that they had 2 kits, but had the only player without a kit to defuse. Strange. Torchy now on up. Again, big round. And that it is a buy round. And that it could mean 13 for Fixate. Was that a nade stack that's just netted them a frag? If so, well done, Wasps. They've been trying that as well for quite a bit of the half, so deserved some type of outcome from it, I suppose. That's with two of their players now walking up in towards connector, and then the other three going up long. Should be a cakewalk up until they meet the wrath of Torchy. He is holding that angle on long, but they have smoked it off. Counter molly gets thrown. They were only pushing two players towards that regardless, so. Obi's actually rotating off towards B. That could be a massive mistake, actually. You have to rotate back now as Wasps start to push in. Good use of utility from them as they quickly extinguish the forces of Obi and Torchy. Speaking of extinguish, that smoke has done that to the Molotov. Luckily for Wasps, does not matter one bit. Ooh, look at that. I think Fetta's actually is already here for the hunting. I noted it earlier, didn't I, with Fixate. They weren't really hunting at all during their T-half, but Wasps, they're going about it a little different. And it's led Fetus to 2 additional frags in that round. And Fixate to a whole bunch of economical struggles. Oh my god, they're forcing this. This could be a massive mistake. Honestly. I mean, they've got 2 Deagles, 2 FAMASs, and M4, sure. But if they lose this, then suddenly the playing field is essentially even, I'd say. This is a risky move. Yeah, again, Wasps decide to run in through long. And that is going to force back Fixate a little bit in this A site, but yeah, again, Wasps just taking their time. There's pretty methodical approach to it all. Predator will be the first one to face a CT, I can imagine. Flash in. Right. Won't spot anyone yet, but he is getting some backup here in toilets and about to meet them any time. Torchy is sitting just next to it as well in a bit of an off angle, but he peeks instead, and that's when he goes down. Good awareness from Fetis to hold on to that AK. Obi in the meantime still in toilets just outside of the smoke. It's gonna fade though. Not gonna reveal anyone because they've already pushed through. Obi gets that frag on Fetis, but he was the one already tagged up, and Wasps meanwhile been able to unsuspectedly walk into that B site and get a free bomb plat for it. Fixate now. Retake that they really can't lose, but it's not going well so far. Obi and Linne also die, and it's... I can't agree with that buy from Fixate still. Because look at their economy now. No one over 2,300. Wasps will get 11th round here. And that will mean that it's basically an even playing field, especially when you consider that momentum that Wasps will be carrying through Fixate. Smart, we have actually sort of stacked on long. I think I call this smart because it is where Wasps have pushed in so many players so often. Fortunately for Fixate, they won't be this time. If they're going to push any players through, then it's going to be maybe one. So, oh, Rainy, is he ready for this? He gets 1 on 2, and they just keep coming towards him, and he does not say no to that. 4k for him. 11th round for Wasps. Simple enough. You could call that for sure. He's actually up to the quintuple digits, so. And that's with Fixate. Straight M4s across the board. And that's with bit of a, I mean, they pushed in towards A. Yeah, again, it's like they make a choice that isn't maybe bad considering what's gone on, but Wasps, they're switching it up just when they need to in a way. Because just when Fixate start to have a round where they want to punish something, a type of behavior, that's when Wasps just sort of switch it up. Running in towards B, massive frag. MV takes it clean on Crocus, and that should be a free sight for Wasps after that. But Fixate, yet again, they've spread out themselves really well here in this retake. 1 player from each angle, 1 from short, 1 from monster, 1 from CT, and 1 from heaven. And I think, as a result, Wasps should be having some issues with this. Freda goes down first. That leaves that angle open. You don't have anyone watching short either, but luckily for them, the kills just start to flow in. And they don't stop flowing. 12 all. As Wasps get 3 in a row, 4 in a row, in fact, to even it out completely. And a big chance to even nab the lead here. All they need to do is just beat maybe a couple upgraded pistols. Okay, look at this then. Fixate. Yeah, again, just sort of force Wasp's hand here. And this time it's worked out a hell of a lot better. 2 frags for them. As long as Wasps run back and get that op though, should be fine, but they're not concerned at all. Did they not want the op? I guess they don't care. Oh, they have bought it up, so right, cool. Great. Good stuff, guys. Could've just ran back. Wasps though, with winning 5 rounds in a row, I mean they're stacked right now. They can't complain money-wise at all. Even with Fixate getting some map control here of short. Is it really gonna affect Wasps too much? In this regard, they've been really good to adapt, I think. With sort of the, on this T side specifically, I think, because wherever Fixate push in, they just sort of swerve around that a lot. Maybe not this time though. A lovely boost up for Crocus from, I think that was Linux, bottom piece. Means that Fixate are straight back on the horse they wanted. That could all be ruined though. Wasps rotating back towards B. All predicated on if Fetus can grab a couple here, he gets Crocus and tries to get even more. Not quite. I think it's worth just keeping himself alive here, considering he is just on 5 health. And it's going to be a challenge in its own right, but early goes down. Fetus though gets another kill. Same goes for Dreamy. They have the sight. Torchy does rotate in quick enough, but he goes down actually, surprisingly so. It's only OB who's gonna push in to kill off Dreamy. Massively reckless there, Dreamy. All on Fetus now, solo still. Pushed in this Obi! To be on Kenobi yet again. Rescue them. What a hero. 2 clutches now for him. I think through the game, and add another 3k onto that. The one we talked earlier about, which was also quite crucial. You have Fixate on level score again. However, not level economy. In that they lost 4 players in that round. Yeah, it's not great. Everyone under 1,000. Torchy having to be off scout this round. And not too much utility to speak of. And that's with MV actually getting a frag really early. He has been really good in those sort of entry situations, I'd say. That's where he's been best. A team that wins this... I mean, if Fixate win this round, it's still pretty up in the air as to who's going to win, but if Wasps win it, there's just no coming back on this first map. I don't think there's any chance of that whatsoever. Torchy. He's not alone, but he certainly feels like it with only a scout in his hand. He goes down quicker than expected, maybe, for himself. Well, maybe not expected, but he would have hoped. And Fixate make the really smart choice of just saving here. I mean, maybe it's not really smart because it is quite obvious that they had to do it, but obviously in the thrill of the moment, you sort of maybe lose yourself occasionally. But here, no. They just run back for the save, and honestly, I said Wasps winning that round means that it is over. But all of a sudden, I'm not so sure if I think that anymore. If they keep these 3 players alive, that is. Fetus, though, is gonna be that hunting man again. And that's with Fixate. Maybe not being on the best of the economy right now, but at least they have something to have some hope in. Fireworks going off on that wasp spawn. And that's, again, not the ideal buy, of course, for Fixate right now. But it is something. Keeping both an M4 and an AK. Both very isolated as well. I think the pistol's just stacking up right now to win out in numbers. Problem with that is that it seems as though all of Wasps will be trying to attack this. Even as the nade stack doesn't really succeed, they have more men than Fixate do when it comes to this site. And also better weapons, of course. This one, though, gets a frag. Same goes for Torchy. Oh, and they tagged up so well here. Fixate. They just need those frags to go their way. And it's actually happening. MV. Last one standing. I've called his sort of entry efforts great before, but there's a whole different situation. Already with 2 down, but only 8 health to go. Molly's out. Obi. He just runs through. Will he expect this MV? Tries to readjust, and he's been given time. And he's been given the kill. 1v1. Turned from a 1v4. This could win the game right here for MV. And for Wasps, but instead, it goes the other way. Linne to shut down those dreams. And to keep this first map alive as well. You should cast Dragon. I mean, we're in the middle of this game, buddy. So. Thank you for the input, Twitch chat. Love it. Appreciate it as always. Here's a 14-14 game. You should switch. Regardless. Again, 14-14. How is this not a massive round? Well, it is. So, here's that. Fixate as well. Oh god, Torchy going down. But crucially, Obi hasn't been spotted. He's going to try and flank this, but somehow Wasps have been able to rat him out. And that is not the start Fixate we're hoping for. Just as they started to build up a bit of momentum again in the latter part of that round. They've been shut down here again. Crocus as always gets a frag. Can that be enough? I don't think it is. Linne gets taken out after he grabs the frag, and it is just Crocus left. And you know, despite the praise I could give him for his efforts so far, this is just not a round he's gonna win, surely. Yep. At best, he gets to save this M4. At best. The penultimate round then of regulation. We've got another pretty mixed buy coming out for Fixate. Another full, just perfect buy for Wasps. Torchy. Oh, gets flashed too. Too flashed. Couldn't quite get the shot off. That's going to give Wasps that entire long area. They still have to fight in connector actually against Obi, who's sitting here with his Mag 7. Trying to do it all. That's with Wasps confirming that they have that long area, and Obi goes down. Not a great couple seconds for Fixate in that manner. As Wasps just like usual get that man advantage. It feels like so many of these T rounds they've just started off with a man advantage, and then Fixate have to fight that uphill battle over and over again. But what are we seeing here? It's yet again a big hit from Wasps. It's a pretty empty site, as you can see. Only Slim here, hiding in that smoke and hiding on sandbags. Look at the time though. If they plant this wrong, then it could all just be overtime. Oh no, they don't know. What are Wasps doing? That is quite the way to lose out the final round and to draw it to overtime. They didn't have a sense of the time. That is a mistake of the highest order. The thing is as well, just when they tried to plant, they didn't even clear the site in time. They just ran in way too late. And so even when they tried to, obviously, I think Earl had it initially, and then when he died, tried to pick it up to plant it, but again, they just hadn't cleared it out. Slim, as a result, gets to just peek in and gets to just eliminate Wasp's hopes of closing this one out. It really did feel like Wasps were going to win out that round, but you just can't make mistakes like that in the 30th round. Abhorrent stuff. Will make the game quite interesting though, won't it? As we do the smoke I haven't seen before, this specific throw. It does mean that, of course, we're into overtime on this first map. Which, I'm not going to say no to. Been quite enjoyable so far. Crocus, though. Gets 2 here. Even as he goes down, it's still sort of unsure from Wasp's perspective if they can push in. And they can. They just don't know about short. Oh, now they do. Oh, now they definitely do. Freddy kills one and spots out the other on short. Another molly gets dropped as well, even as Torchy finds a frag on Fetis. 2-on-3 for Wasps as a result, where Torchy keeps on fragging. And Earl is in the toughest of spots. He's gonna have to go absolutely huge here. Slim is just waiting for him as well. I think Earl knows that there's something on short, but is he really gonna check this tunnel? If he is, then that, I mean, that's so smart. Yeah. Oh my god. Earl. I suddenly believe. You know what? I suddenly believe. To some extent. He has made one rotate. Actually, Torchy. Just as Earl started to run in, Torchy gets impatient. Torchy rotates off. He does get that bomb down now. He knows that one's up in heaven. That one's close. Beside him misses the shot though. Up by heaven. And the follow-up as well. And you just don't get a third try in those types of situations. 16-15. We've got a game on, folks. On this first map. I spoke of it earlier. It's obviously Fixate's first game. But I feel, in this group, I still feel like it could be their most important game. Even after it wraps up, because, again, to reiterate, in this group, 5 teams to get through. And so they're just gonna have to try and challenge the 2 teams that are I think the 2 favorites, Fury Academy and WaspsGaming, by winning this game. And if they don't win this game, they're gonna have to beat Fury Academy, who, after their win against Omen, looked like they're actually the top team. So being in overtime as well against Wasps on first map, with at least one more map to go, it feels like quite the chance that they have to get on not just the front foot, but the frontest of foots for this group. Wasps, though, surely just gonna put it on the hatchet here, and they do. Simple enough. $16 all. And that means that is, of course, the last round of this first half of the first overtime. For anyone curious about that veto, by the way, this is Fixate's pick. Wasps picked Nuke as the second. Inferno is the decider. So, there's that. Alright then. just tight, this game. All the way through. Ever since it was 8-7 in the first half. We just had such a tight affair. Obi. Maybe 2 Kenobi. Not quite the third in that situation. The free cape. Wasps again taking their sweet time, but smoke now thrown out on towards they. This should be when they start to push in. Where the Earl and Fett is the ones left for them. Fett is, of course, that's their sort of main player anyway. Trying to find an entry through, but instead of Shreddit, was killed off the flanker and just finds an opening into going in towards B. Torchy was here through heaven. Been smoked off though. Oh my god, he's faked even me. I've been faked. I can understand why Slim has. So he has to rotate back with Wasp running in, but Slim almost did his name proud. It's a nice 1.5, but not quite enough perhaps with Torchy. There's just no way, surely. The positions that they have, and Torchy's been tagged up now as well. It's so difficult with no smoke, no utility, and no life in that case, because he's been taken down. And as a result, Wasps take the lead going into that second half. Fixate on just 16. Still not bad, is it? Because Wasps will have to win 2 rounds in the second half out of the 3 available to still win out. So not quite match point yet. But if Wasps get that first round, then it's going to be quite tough for Fixate to try and hold on to this. Would have to get those last 2 rounds of this first overtime that were what they were going for. Also, to answer someone's question earlier that they hoped I would stream the Dragonborn versus Rhythmic, I think it is, game. I think there's actually a stream of that as well, so you could check that out. I think it's Dragonborn streaming it. So, but if I were you, I would probably not tune out of an overtime on Overpass for it. Fixate. They're being even more patient than Wasps to start, setting up all the utility to begin with. Beth's peeking out though. Oh, it's exactly what he was open for. Barely takes any damage and still gets a frag and jump over as he threw in that smoke. Fixate. They're gonna be so feels so hard to hard done by. Freddy as well. He's actually flanked this, but look at that Slim. Massive awareness on him. Kills it off. It's forced Wasps into a sort of a 1.5 rotation. Moving back Earl a little towards CT and Dreamy all the way to A. And reasonably so. Considering that A is where seemingly they want to attack, or maybe not. Bomb's going back. There's still 2 players from Wasps here. And they're in really good positions for the short attack. Fethis though does go down. It's only Envy who's still left, but with only 10 seconds, they really have to kill him off, and they're just not doing it. He's just ended it all. Envy. Massive performance in that round. Turns up when he needs to. Match point on this first map then of Overpass. Of course, you're just joining us, Wasps. This is not even their pick. They picked Nuke on that second map, for that second map. Inferno is the decider as well. This is gonna have to be quite the comeback from Fixate, and I'm not so sure if I'm gonna trust it all the way. There's just so much mental fortitude required, in a way, to win out this, and to have to go into another overtime regardless. Earl gets the frag on Linne. Fixate though. Actually, starting to move in towards B. Even more so than that, it's Crocus to try and manage to pick off Fetus, but he just is unkillable when it comes to some of those duels. Earl gets a kill on short as well, with Fixate now just having the two players as the last bastions, and it won't happen for them. It's GG, ladies and gentlemen. Wasps will win out the first map of Overpass then. And we'll go into that second in a short little bit. That will be Nuke as well. Hope you'll stick around. Still a chance, of course, for Fixate to try and salvage something here in maybe not a must-win game, but certainly a game that, you know, they'd hope to win, in a way. Regardless, we are just going to take a quick little break. When we come back, second map and such. See you then.
Let's go out. something like this. She doesn't not took it. She said we should hook up the boyfriend and booger. Don't know me, then look her. I'm being the clouds. Pool full of Henny, I drink and I drown. Daytime better come correct. Ain't playing at your best, then you will get left. If it don't involve money, then I don't accept. If it don't involve money, then I don't accept. Something like this. Daytime better come correct. You ain't playing at your best, then you will get left. If it don't involve money, then I don't accept. If it don't involve money, then I don't accept.
Alright, welcome back to map number 2 of Fixate Gaming versus WaspsGaming here in Group 1 of Season 5 of RDYUP. We had quite the thrilling first game, ending 19-16 in Wasp's favour on Overpass. That was a pick of Fixate as well, so a massive win for the UK side to pick up going into this second map, of course. Their own pick, one of their better maps historically. So, I mean, if they close it out here, then tells you all you need to know. Regardless, Fixate, of course, needing almost to battle back in this to try and push it to Inferno, which would have been that decider if it were for that to happen. Fixate are definitely not in too many fights right now, trying to bide their time as they actually get that first and second and third frag, all just for one in return. They have a kit as well, which is dropped and nobody's really picking it up at all. Linne, all alone now, still doesn't have it. Try to look for it all across the floor, and well, if you're searching for long enough, then you shall get blown up. I think that's how the saying goes, regardless. Sort of the slight black screen as well. It is tradition, isn't it? So needed to uphold it for just one more time. There you go. Should be right back into it. Look at that. Fixate just pushed in 4 players deep into lobby. Big Dream is actually going to challenge this as well to some extent. But meanwhile, Wasps have been able to push out so many players in so many good positions. Being flashed in as well. I mean, they're essentially taking the site from the backdoor entrance. It's just that it's up in the sky. That's his dream. He picks up 2 frags from that flank the flanker's position. Torchy does keep the round alive to some extent, but still should not be a massive issue for Wasps this round. Especially with Linne now taken out. Slim, Torchy, probably to follow. Australia gets one, and Torchy should probably just die any second, really. Regardless of it, if it's through the bomb or through a player. That's been heard so extensively. Really, I mean, he's probably not going to survive considering he's on 1 health, but at least getting that frag gets him a bit. Oh my god, it didn't even explode. Getting that kill as well gives him, of course, quite a bit of money if you were to upgrade, which he chooses to do. I'm not sure if it was necessary, though, considering Fixate just have straight USPs here. Bit of a nade stack perhaps being set up to try and kill off Fetis, who was up there in heaven. Goes down to 23 health, but considering he's the Mach 10 anyway in this round, the only Mach 10 for Wasps, even if he does die, I don't think they're going to be crying wolf just yet. And yeah, as expected, just a bit of a cleanup round, really. Simple enough, I suppose. Gun round to follow. Maybe actually heating up the game a little bit, because we have gone from a barn burning overtime tight all the way through the second half to, well, a couple rounds just of nothing. Can you hear those birds? I can have my window open. Or it's just, you know, Envy screaming out, "Yo, I'm already in secret, by the way." And Earl can also scream out that he's already into ramp. Same goes for most of Wasps, really. Streamy and Earl just trying to hold off the 2 out of 3 remaining players who are just... What is happening? Fixate. They've really fallen apart on this map so far. It's just not been good. I don't know what to say. Obviously, most of these rounds haven't really been rounds maybe you would expect them to win. Every round outside of this one, I guess the pistol as well, in some manner. But still, it's just been quite bad. Torchy, though, shining his light all over the deep pit, just trying to hide in the corner right now. He will get chased down in time. Will he get killed? Yes, he will. Wasps. Oh, they even get that off. He should be very happy with that. Did they mean to buy a second op? No, is the answer. They did not mean to buy a second op. Or? Yeah. They've dropped it. No op. Wasps, as a result, though, they should just be continuing this cruise right now. It's quite simple, really, what they're doing. Not really having to fight against too much, you could say. And he has got a frag there, though. Not really sure how he got it. But it is Dreamy who has fallen victim to it regardless. And look at that. Lovely pushing from Fixate. Distracting from 2 angles. To get a frag again. As Wasps do just keep 2 players alive, but then again they are also 5-0 up. So there is that. Look at this. First time we've really seen the major outside presence from Wasps. I think it's Slim who's mainly going to try and hold this off. Torchy, of course, with the op is holding a bit further away. Oh, but Slim, he's made the noise. He's also been killed off. Torchy missing his shot as well, as Obi, strangely up on the silo, gets one, but then's done. And then a 3-on-3. It still always feels like Wasps are going to figure it out in some capacity. Despite them probably being in the disadvantage here. Since they are on 14 and 37 health, they know where one is. But Linne has just exposed himself there as a killer. Good stuff from Earl, though. Could actually grab a frag here, spots out both, but Linne will figure it out in time. And Fixate get their first round. Finally something going for them. This game so far has just been a cakewalk for Wasps in a way. Despite, obviously, it hasn't been a case of them sort of keeping all players alive. But yeah, again, it sort of felt like they were always going to figure it out one way or another. Just that time they didn't. Maybe a lack of trigger or something as well from early. But with an AWP you can't really do too much else in that situation than get just 1 frag. And well, speaking of frags, there's 2. Wasps straight back onto the cakewalk. Straight back to just sort of dancing around on the pavement and the corpses. And it's led Fixate straight back to just this. Having to just go for saves. I think Earl's actually, yeah, hunting behind them as well. Linne won't get team frag before he also goes down. So, great. Fixate, they're scrambling their eggs. They looked so much better on Overpass. But again, I don't think they looked faultless on Overpass. They had some definite flaws, they had some definite sort of... You could tell what type of tier the team was in, if you know what I mean. And frankly, Overpass is a lot easier a map to play than RDYUP, especially on the CT side. You do have to have that communication down to a T, and it's not even been the communication, if we're being honest. It really has just been them getting dominated by just not knowing the map as well at times. We're having strange setups where it's I don't know. Feels like they know the map, and they probably have gone through it, probably set up everything, but you can tell they haven't played it at least. And the fact that they keep on getting just beaten down in these duels doesn't really help. As Wasps go German against the suddenly Brazilian Fixate. That is then another round. I mean, if Wasps get this one, it's going to be over before it even began this map. I get a sense of that at least. as they do start to push in here. It feels like they're getting a bit too overzealous though. Wasps finally start to lose out in some cundles. Well, maybe not finally from their perspective, but certainly from a viewing perspective. Predator does catch one out though, and Earl does the same. Suddenly it's brought back into question if it really is going to be Fixate's round. This Torchy uncomfortably caught out. Or Wasp really going to be ready for even more players though? It seems as though Slim has missed his chance. And Crocus rotates in. He's exposed himself just the same. That's with Earl sort of flanking them right now. Slim spotted out again. Crocus not ready for it, but Earl misses his shot. Ready now. 1-on-2 for him. It's a possible 1v2 for sure. Just lacks some utility, but the fact is he can play around with the silo here to make it a 1-on-1 twice over, just not taking his chances though. And goes down eventually. Even the rounds where Fixate should be winning it comfortably after the initial start, they just don't. As they go from almost keeping a clean sheet in that round to almost dropping it completely. Up out for Fixate again. Torchy's very much been up and down, hasn't he? At times look like a star. At times, maybe not so much. Slim will also execute Dreamy through that smoke there. Which will mean that, unlike on the T side of Overpass, Wasps don't have a man advantage every single round. Despite obviously having it quite a bit. Crocus even gets another one. Fixate again taking a big lead. And man-wise, same as last round. Question is, with one additional player for Wasps this time around against the 5, will they come back from this? Unlike last time. So the flash is dropped. Crocus handles it well. And, well, above and beyond, you can say. Svetis also goes down. 3-7. Bit of a timeout. I'm not sure if of its nature, if it's technical or tactical, but I mean, if Fixate were to do a tactical timeout, then probably wouldn't be now. So. Wasps will start to take a bit of outside here, though Slim, yeah, again stands in a similar position, forced back, and well, evades some bullets from MV, I can imagine. He's thinking. I'm not sure if they're too aware of where he's going to be, but it seems as though they are. Try to getting him down. Torchy didn't even have time to peek in before they got in a better spot. It flashed out. Now it's a wonderful flashbang. I don't think he saw it at all because he was scoped in. And he was just flashed for so long. Doors open on B. Lynn is watching that from ramp. And it's still unsure for Fixate where Wasps actually want to go in this round. Crocus does take down one though, but it's immediately traded out. 3-on-3 now as Torchy gets one. I think Obi's up there as well, so some precedence to be found as Wasps do start to plant on that A site. Linne coming in for the flank as well, but a massive frag goes Earl's way. Z takes him down. Wasps surely gonna win this one out now, especially as Obi goes down. Torchy will grab one back, but there's just too much to do in too little time. With an AWP especially. And he will just rotate off. Will he get hunted here? I feel like he will. Oh, Dreamy. Big chance, but he runs out of bullets. Envy also does. How can you have the same... What the hell? I think Torchy got no scope there in the end as well. How can you not learn from your teammate's mistake? It was like 2 seconds before as well. Both running out of bullets. Comical. In one sense, is Torchy. Just get to save that up. It's a big weapon to have, of course. In what's otherwise not a great economical situation here, but maybe the op won't play a part. As Wasps just run inside and, you know, do their bit. Because they don't have to do too much else to just grind out these results. Wasps are definitely gonna just sort of, again, grind it out with not too much difficulty. Been a very lackluster half in that sense. Slim realizes he has to back off from the wall if he wants to survive. And does. I feel like if he was stuck against that wall, definitely would have died. Haven't tested it, I'd say. Hope no one has. Hope no one's that dumb. Okay, I guess that's a frag. Another time where Fixates just rush in towards lobby works out. Great effect, however. Wasps, as a result of the manpower being used over there, just freely walked into secret and just kept on going. Crocus, with his AK, will try to challenge, but doesn't seem very possible. I'm not sure why he's not dropped it to Torchy as well, because Torchy does have that body armor. I guess they want to save it as a primary. With Torchy perhaps being able to get some type of exit frag here, maybe? Who knows? Gone. Yeah, again, compared to last game, this first half has definitely not stacked up too much. Despite Crocus getting that frag, I mean, it's not good. This position that they're in right now, Fixate. Unpaused. really just don't know what to say to Fixate right now. If I had the chance to. It just doesn't look like they're gonna dig themselves out of this hole. Somebody said earlier, in that overtime, in a hopeful manner, before they switched sides and lost on the T side. I do like that T side more. Maybe that's some type of hope, but like, and even then, and even with this map being more balanced than ever, in a way, between sides, it still doesn't feel like 3 rounds is enough. 4 rounds or 5 rounds. If you get the 5 rounds, maybe, but even then, not even sure if I believe in that. As Fixate are just gonna get absolutely taken to town. Most fronts, lovely stuff from MV specifically. Twelfth round here would be devastating for the side of Fixate. They're hoping to counter that. Crocus is the one with the op this time. Torchy switched to a rifle and it immediately got something for it. Outside though, the newfound opera has been bullied off it to some extent. With the players getting into secret quite easily, Fixate more and more had to realize that they have to set up passively here on this B site. We have 2 players down there. Do they have Obi on a P90? Alright then. Because that says something about Fixate more than it does about anything else. If it does work out, then I think it says a hell of a lot about a hell of a lot. Wasps though, despite being 2 men down, are desperately trying to make this one work. MV will get a frag just about. And also get that plant down. Slim next to fall, and they just drop the man advantage as usual here. Fixate. Just as I say it though, they do regain it. Smoke off single door, but Freddy welcomes that with open arms and some shots in Obi's stomach. Crocus, yeah, it's just not gonna happen for him surely. No kit. Op. Close by. Yeah. I mean, yeah. What is there even to say on that one? Absolute domination from Wasps in the first half, and I'm afraid Fixate won't hold on for much longer. Wasps have won out every pistol round in this series so far. I have a sinking feeling that that won't change anytime soon. If Fixate somehow do come back, pistol round or not, then map 3 will be Inferno at Decider, which I'd say is a pretty good Wasps map. So, you know, not quite as good as Nuke. I'm pretty comfortable in saying Nuke is their home map, at least historically speaking. This roster has been together for a really long time. Everyone except Dreamy, who did get added not too long ago, actually. Just a stable roster outside of that, though, so there is that. Do double flash buys. I think a smoke or 2 as well from Fixate. Bit of a strange setup as they throw Slim to just make all the noise he can out towards Secret while the rest move in towards A, and it's worked out wonderfully so. Wasps have been immeasurably fooled And as a result, might actually just lose this one out. But as soon as you think that, Wasp just come back in the round. Fixate have been up by 1 or 2 men like so many times in this second map, but just never seems to work out at all. WaspsGaming are gonna keep their perfect record, perhaps, with Earl on that kit now as well. Sitting on the bomb, it's torchy to peek in, but it's torchy to die into. Let Wasps take that 10-round lead. It's really quite something. Wasps are not being too tested right now, it must be said. Must be quite hard to watch for any Fixate fan in the second map after such a valiant effort on the first one. Absolutely pushed it to the end. And then, well, the second map has been what it has been. And that's not something that they were maybe hoping for. Dreamy might just get an absolute shutdown here. So you got a 4K on one of these in the first map, and same goes this time. Wasps, though, unlike last time, are surely not gonna mess this one up in regulation. Obviously had that bit of a comeback almost with a couple rounds in a row. Led all the way to 15-14 and dropped that final round due to not planting the bomb in time, which is a foolish mistake when it's the final round of regulation. Happily for them, they solved that in overtime, and good on them, I guess. They've also proved here that they are the superior team. Has to be a devastating loss for Fixate, though. Team that's come into, again, their first game with maybe not a must win, but certainly close to that. If they want to get out to this group. 3-on-3 it's turned into. They don't quite know of MV's presence, though. And he gets one. Bit of damage done towards Linne as well, but again, Wasps just look superior in so many ways. They've got that positioning down to a T as well, while Fixate left with scratching their heads a little bit. Not a lot of economy on them either. Here, Fixate, so would have to take a miracle to even stay in this one for too much longer, but I don't think they will, truthfully. Pretty weak buy as well, considering it's a must. Well, a must win. It's not like they'll come back regardless, but still. To keep some honor, they'll try and win at least this one out. 2 frags gone their way initially, just as usual. Just as always, but will they drop it just as always? Apparently. Earl with 2. Making it a 2-on-2. Planted the bomb. Torchy as well in a bit of a crafty angle. Gets one. It's a 1-on-1, but then there was Freddy to close it out. 16-3 on the second map. A shock result considering how close the first one was. Has to be said. It was a bit anticlimactic, really, considering what we had on that first map. Very valiant effort again on the first one for Fixate, but just couldn't hold on long enough, and then the second map became what it became. Well played to Wasps then, of course, as they grabbed their second win out of 2. Now 2 for 2 then. Clean as well. I think they beat Amplify 2-0, so 4-0 in total. It's going to be an uphill battle for Fixate if they want to make it out of this group. I think the game between Fixate and Fury Academy will just play such a big part for Fixate. If they don't win that one, we're probably not going to see them go through. And the 2 expected teams of Fury Academy and Wasps maybe make it through this group. But it's It's certainly been it was an enjoyable map, at least. I'm not sure if I can if I can speak about the whole series as enjoyable, but like it would have been for Wasps fans to get a bit of relief after the mistakes that caused the overtime on the first map. Well played to them, of course, and again, commiserations to Fixate in what, again, I feel like is their first competitive outing, not qualifiers notwithstanding. Hope you've enjoyed watching it, despite the nature of that second map, and I've certainly enjoyed watching it, so thanks for joining me, and we'll see you back when we do. Just look out on the RDYUP Twitter, RDYUPGG, if you want to get updates on things like that. My personal Twitter, you can see there in the bottom of the screen at Stromis. And yeah, we'll see you back when we do. See you then. Until then, have a good one. Bye.
Time better come correct. Ain't playing at your best, then you will get left. If it don't involve money, then I don't accept. If it don't involve money, then I don't accept. Roll a little something like this. Time better come correct. Ain't playing at your best, then you will get left. If it don't involve money, then I don't accept. If it don't involve money, then I don't accept. Roll a little something like this. I took it. She said we should hook up the boyfriend and booger. Don't know me, then look at I be in the clouds. Full full of Henny, I drink and I drown. Daytime better come correct. Ain't playing at your best, then you will get left. If it don't involve money, then I don't accept. If it don't involve money, then I don't accept. Something like this.